Well, you knew it was going to happen. As soon as Ashley Barnes scored against Millwall, here we have Adam saying, start him next game, start him in the Prem. No idea, says Dave, how he isn't getting a game in the league. He's an absolute nuisance for defenders. So that leads us with our opening question of 2026. Has Ashley Barnes got a role to play in this season yet? Hope you're well. Great to see you. Thank you for your company yet again. Our first record of the new year. We've got Dan and Jordan back with us as well. Thank you for your company. Hope you're both well, fellas. Also, we're asking the question, is it all over for Burnley as well? Giving a look back at our Christmas results and get these guys' views on whether they have given up. And it's all now just about looking forward to the Championship again next season. But let's stay on the positives, shall we? First, before we get into that debate, let's talk about the FA Cup, Dan. Yeah, that was impressive. Who impressed you in particular?
The optimism of our fans. Let's have it right. Millwall made 7 changes. We made a hatful of changes too. Our second team is better than their second team. That's about as much as we can draw from it. You know, people saying Ashley Barnes should start in Premier League. Have a day off. All right, we played well. It was unexpected, to be fair. When we spoke about this, when we talked about the FA Cup draw, I said we'd probably get beat off Millwall. And we didn't. We beat them handsomely. So morale boost. We're 2 games undefeated now. To get a hatful of goals, you think it might be that kind of morale boost, confidence boost. But what can we draw from that? Literally next to nothing. Millwall made so many changes. It wasn't their first team. We made a lot of changes. We still had a strong spine. We're through to the next round, and long may it continue. If we play our second string and win, great. Have a cup run. But I don't think we need to get too excited just yet.
Okay. Some other bits and pieces, Jordan, from it. The Burnley way saying, I've been having a serious think about the Vice and Son for next weekend. If I was Parker, both have been superb. Yeah, are you on that wavelength as well?
I am for Son, massively on it for Son. I think he's a bit of an uncut diamond, if you will, unpolished diamond. There is a player there. It's just getting him, making the right decisions and things like that. I'm really impressed by Son. Vice, okay, he didn't have a lot to deal with apart from that header. Maybe I think you could give him that one, but no, you've got to go for Dubravka in starting. But Son is definitely a shape for me. Move Walker into the back 3 as opposed to playing Laurent there because it doesn't really work. Play Walker there. Put Son on that right wing back, and I think we might have more of a winning formula than we do.
In fairness, you did ask about who impressed me, and to be fair, Vice actually I thought played all right. Now we have to, equate that with the quality of the opposition. I don't think he's pushing Dubravka for a starting point, but it's the first time we've had a chance to properly see him in a competitive game. He can't really be blamed for their only goal. He saved everything else that came with him, commanded his area okay. So it's just nice to see that we've got a half-decent replacement because up until then, we didn't really know. He's only young as well. He's only about 20. He looks about 60, but he's only about 20 years old. So I thought he played all right and he made some decent saves. So yeah, it's a bit of a qualified he did well because of who we were playing, but it's nice to see him have a good game. But
can I just say quickly as well? But just before we move on as well, only because we bash him every week, Anthony was superb in that game. His first touch were back. It looked like the Anthony we knew. We were taking players on, cutting in. It was phenomenal. Just thought I'd get that on there.
Played well against United, to be fair, the 20 minutes he came on.
No, he did. He did.
Any preference on the next round who you get?
Blackburn still in it?
No, they got knocked out.
No, I'm not bothered now then.
Okay, right.
I would like to have a similar kind of draw. I know they just beat Palace, but I think that's their one-off. I'd take Macclesfield at the turf again. We'll get through.
Oh, but look, that absolutely stinks, doesn't it? Of who were it that beat us in the National League at the time? Or Lincoln. Lincoln beat us. That absolutely stinks of the Lincoln game, that.
I don't think that'd happen twice. I think they've had their game now, so we'd take them, we'd beat them comfortably.
Okay. Right then, let's focus on more important matters, shall we then? Let's talk about the Premier League. Since we last spoke, you've obviously played Everton, Newcastle and United, and now it means we are more than halfway through the season, and the question I've got to pose to you both is 21 played, 13 points, the gap to safety now being to Nottingham Forest on 21. Dan, is it all over bar the singing?
Yeah, I think so. I think the run of games we've just had, we've played a Newcastle team who weren't very good, and we lost. Albeit we played well in that game, but we lost. We played an Everton team who had half the team out either injured or played in AFCON. They weren't very good. I know you're, with respect, but they weren't a very
No, we
good
were.
team, and we drew. We then played a United team in turmoil, and we draw. And these are all at home. And you've got to think these are the games. If we can't beat these teams at home, we're not going to do it. I mean, we've played United twice now. We've played Newcastle twice now. We've got to go to Everton. But, these games are slipping away from us too quickly. He has to have a run of all runs to make us survive. It's possible. We did it under Dyche. I think it was 2017. Someone will correct me. We lost to your boys, weirdly, on Boxing Day 5-1. Yeah. We had 12, 13 points. We went on a run and we managed to stay up, and we stayed up comfortably. So it's doable, but it's not likely. In my opinion, I think we're done.
Okay. One of the other problems, I think, Jordan, is the number of teams that are involved in it, isn't it? I mean, Forest are involved in it, Leeds are involved in it. Do you still see Bournemouth and Spurs and all the way up to 12th being involved in this? Or is it just the bottom four? Bottom five, sorry.
I'd say that I think it's a bit of a dogfight between the bottom five. However, that could change to a bottom four with how Leeds, the current run they've mustered. I know they lost last time out, but they're doing quite well. I think the problem is here that I'm very optimistic in the fact of it's doable until it's mathematically undoable. And I suffer from this. I suffered it with Company. I suffered it the season we had Mike Jackson, albeit that was the closest that we came. It's going to be a serious dogfight. Wolves on the last day, for us, could be a telling game, a very, very big game, depending how the points fall with the other teams. But yeah, I can see it turning into a dogfight between 4 as opposed to 5. I think Leeds have found their formula. Even if it doesn't work for the rest of the season, I think it will get them to a point where whatever they do after a certain point isn't massively going to matter.
So you've not given up yet?
I haven't. I struggle with this every single time we're in the Prem.
The folly of youth. Wait, no. It's done, Jordan. We're done. Who are we going to be?
But I don't know. This is the problem. I don't know who we beat. But my problem is it always comes out of the most unlikely scenarios. I'll refer to the Mike Jackson season. When we went to Watford, we shouldn't have won that game. We won 2-1. Brownhill scoring, last minutes. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's being a Burnley fan or whatever, but the optimism is always there. Even when it's like my head's going, yeah, grow up, Jordan. My heart's going, no, it's doable. It's doable. I don't know why.
It could be. I mean, if come this time next week, we've gone to Anfield and upset the odds, then I might step into your camp. But if what I know will happen, you need to come firmly into my boat.
I mean, look at the January fixtures that are left. I mean, obviously you mentioned Liverpool already, and then Tottenham, who they are bad, but they're not the second best team, I think, away from home. It's just their home form that lets them down. So, yeah, where are the wins coming from then, Jordan? If you aren't out of the woods or not in that camp yet.
Well, I think we've got to go back to a style that isn't pretty. This is the problem with Scott. He tries mixing the both, and it doesn't work. It's oil and water. You either go complete route one like Dyche did, or you try and do what Company did. You can't do this in between. I don't really think it works. Personally, myself, just go back to route one, make it work, get a 1-0 and just defend for your lives. I'm really not fussed about the entertainment side anymore, as opposed to staying in the league. I don't want to become the next Norwich, because that's just a complete yo-yo club that have now finally found their ceiling, and it looks like they're struggling a bit. I don't want to be that team. So I don't care if it's route one and Dyche-esque football. I've also come to a point in my head where Parker isn't getting sacked. We could go and get divvied 10-0 against Liverpool next weekend. He's still got his job on it, pacing, trying to get him out. So I think let's just back what we've got while we've got him. I think he kind of proved in the Cup that we'll be fine in the Championship, but I don't want to go back there. Everyone keeps saying about you make all this money, X, Y, and Z. You make more money from staying in the Prem. So please, can we stop using that as an argument? It's like a windfall. Let's just stay up. Let's cement ourselves, and then let's go again next year and right the wrongs. That's where I stand as a person. It's just never going to happen. That's
you got to question the ambition of Parker. Now, this will divide the room, because against United, we went 1-0 up, probably against everyone's expectation. We got to half-time, we 1-0 up, we had no shots on target, which is quite the feat, and then We go 2-1 down. They take off Fernandes, which I thought was an error, but I understand he was coming back from injury, so it was always planned to do that. And they lost a lot of their attacking impetus, and he was kind of running it in the second half. We get back to 2-0 with a wonder strike, and then you've got to start thinking at that point. I get where Parker's coming from. A point from a losing position, it's morale boosting. It looks good. A point against United, who was 7th in the league, something like that. Similarly, as far as relegation goes, a point is nothing right now.
No,
We're
I
9
agree.
points behind, and what frustrated me a little bit, and people will tell me, no, you're wrong, you've got to take the point when it came from. But Son gets the ball, there's 3 minutes of stoppage time left, and he goes to the corner flag.
I agree with this.
What are you doing? I'd rather I get it, because if he whips the ball in, the keeper cuts it out, he boots it downfield, and then they go ahead and score, and they sucker punches 3-2. Parker's going to get criticised. You had a point. Why do you throw it away? But similarly now, the time to, not to quote the Doors too much, but the time to hesitate is through. We've got to go for it. We've got to try and push on. We've got to try and get these points. Otherwise, they're never going to come. And that's what bothered me.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that bothering you, because I'd be less frustrated. I were pulling my hair out at that point. I know what you're on about with Son running to the corner. I was absolutely pulling my hair out, because it was so doable to beat them. Because, like you said, they took their attacking impetus off, and they looked a little bit discombobulated at the back after that wonder strike. So even if we were to give the ball away and lose, and yeah, we lose a point, whatever, it is frustrating. I'd be less frustrated, because I thought, no, they were going for it. They were proper going for it. They wanted something from this game. So...
Like I said, coming off, someone did say to me, said, well, you take a point from a losing position. You think, do you know at this stage, you take a point in September from a losing position, but we're now in January. We've now got, 17 games left. It's not the time to consolidate and take a point against a poor United. I mean, that Lacey chap were impressive when he come on, he hit the bar and he took a few players on. So there was always that risk that they could get us on the counter. But if he's not willing to gamble now, when's too late? And that's what's going to bother me, and that's what's going to send us down. Aside from the 21 games we've lost so far. But
I agree.
That's why we're
I agree.
Okay. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Some other bits and pieces since we last met you, just some transfers and returns and so on. Hartman has obviously been on social media, and lots of conversations happening since obviously that mistake, and I think it was against Fulham, was it? What's your view of what's gone on with Hartman and all that surrounds him?
It's an hard one, isn't it? I mean, not with Hartman. Hartman went about it the right way. Hartman come out and put us a post out and said, "This is what's happened. This is what I'm telling you, and this is how it is." And that's how you should do it as a player, especially as a player to a Burnley football club. I'm sure it'd be the same to an Everton football club. In your stance, all you want is a bit of communication between that player to the fan, because ultimately that fan is paying your wages. They just want to know what's happening, even if it's not the way we want it to go. At least we're not sat there pondering and speculating. So I'm glad we've kept Hartman. On the other transfer side of it, I don't fully understand the Luca Koleosho business. Why pull him from Espanyol to send him to Paris? It's all a bit bizarre, but I've not seen us with one credible link, and we need a credible link right now, personally.
Yeah, I thought it was refreshing from Hartman to come out and clear it up. You seldom get that, not just at Burnley, but at any club. You hear he's been linked to Ajax, or he's been linked to go back to Holland or the Netherlands, forgive me. And we'd heard 2 or 3 links to him, and they were supposedly coming from credible sources. And he just came out and said, "This is absolute nonsense." He said, "I'm here at Burnley. I'm trying to fight for the team, back from a place, this, that, the other." It was quite an eloquent post. And, it was refreshing to see such honesty from a player. I mean, if he gets sold next week, it makes me look like a right fool, doesn't it? But that was what he was saying. And if he's penning that himself and putting it out on his own social media, I found it quite nice to see that someone was coming out and saying, "Look, there's no speculation, or it's speculation. Ignore it all. I'm a Claret. I am until I'm told I'm not." And that's what I thought. Personally, as a fan, it was nice to see that. I mean, regardless of your opinions whether he should be playing, I think he's decent. But
I do.
It was good to see him clear the air and kind of put a full stop on what was being speculated about him.
But can you not see the difference there as well from us both? So we both just said that about Hartman, and I know 90% of the Burnley fan base will share what we've just said. However, let's look at the Tresor situation. Now, if he doesn't go this window, and I don't want him to, but if he doesn't go this window, what is going on and why do we still not know about it? Do you know what I mean?
He didn't even start on Saturday.
It's weird. I don't get it.
No, it's an odd one, isn't it?
Right then, Liverpool it is then this weekend. Obviously, we'll all be hoping that you get something from that game. Enjoy it. It'd be amazing for a 1-0 smash and grab. It's fantastic.
Ashley Barnes hat-trick.
Oh, running at the cop and giving it that.
Yes, and thank you to all the people that obviously when we went to the Everton game that stopped us and said hello. That's really nice of you. Good to spend some time in your company, fellas. Thank you for all the education about Turf Moor.
Thank you very much.
Lovely little place.
You like your berry or not?
I did, absolutely. my head did not the next day, but thank you for introducing me to that liquor. Lovely as it is. We've been doing the A to Z of Burnley and ever since the season started, really up to the letter L. Not sure how, but we are there. What have we got for the letter L? Any of you?
I've got two, but I know what Dan's going to go for because it's more his era, so I'm not going to take that away from him, even though I do have the perfect L, but I'm going to go from my era, which was Kevin Long. He was such a servant to the club. Okay, he weren't everyone's cup of tea, but come on, he did over a decade at the club. He stepped in when he was needed. He got pushed to the reserves when he didn't, and then when they needed him again, he just came back. That is proper loyalty in football, and I feel like I know what Dan's going to say.
Well, you'll probably know. I probably agree with what you think I'm going to say, but I'll leave it to you because I think that's what we should put in at the end. All right. The other ones that I've got, these are even older. All right. There was a Scottish centre forward in the 70s called Andy Lockhead. He's been at the club for ages. He's also been a bit of an ambassador who does the hospitality, showing people round. A guy who came on the turf against United at half time was Glenn Little. He was he scored against Scunthorpe to get promotion. He was a bit of a cult favourite. I had Kevin Long down as a joke. Why you put him in?
I'm going. That's me off voices.
There's a couple of others. I had Losing Streak. That's another one associated with Burnley. Brian Laws. Bob Lord is the other one.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Bob Lord, he was the chairman when we won the whether we won the first division, whatever you want to call it. Got to an FA Cup final, was chairman for 20 odd years. Was quite well in with the FA, did in the FA Cup draws and what have you. So there's a few to pick from. However, I have omitted one, which I'm sure Jordan's itching to tell us all.
Hey, it's got to be Glenn Little on it. It's got to be.
No, the long side.
All right, fair enough. Right, you caught me off guard there, Dan. You've caught me off guard there. Yeah, I'll give you the long side. I'll give you the long side.
That's the stand that we were sitting in on against Everton. You'd see
now called the North Stand.
It's now called the North Stand or the James Hargreaves Stand. Back in the day, that was called the long side, and you'll still hear Burnley saying, "We are long side, Burnley. We are long side, Burnley." So pick one from there. I think Bob Lord probably should be in there, but. Got to be long side.
I agree. Long side, it's iconic in it. Every commentator that comes over at the long side, it's got to be long side.
Well, also, my dad told me to mention a guy called Les Latcham, but I've no idea who that were.
I don't.
In the comments, please. I think you've covered nearly every player that has Mustafa surname when you were out there. Super. Right, we're up to M next week. That's a nice, easy one, isn't it, to do? So get thinking on that one. And good luck against the horrible red, you know what, and we'll see you in 7 days' time. Have a good one.